Thanks, Nicole. Good to be with everybody. First, I'd just like to say it's fantastic to be playing at this time of the year. We're thrilled and excited to represent Penn State in this year's NCAA tournament, and really looking forward to traveling down to North Carolina on Friday to get ready for the Sunday game against the University of Massachusetts. No doubt it'll be an exciting and challenging game, but one the team is really motivated for. And I hope by the time we get to Sunday, we'll be well prepared for the challenge that's in front of us.
Perfect. We will open the floor to questions. We will start with Ben.
Hey, Coach. Just a question. Obviously, with the NCAA tournament this year, it's a lot different from years past where it's in a bubble setting in North Carolina, as you mentioned. You guys have had a ton of success at home this year, but how do you guys think you'll respond to that bubble atmosphere in North Carolina for the tournament?
I think we'll respond well. It'll be the same for every team. It'll be very unusual, as you've already mentioned. I believe that the team's experience of navigating COVID since 14 months ago when we left for spring break in March of 2020, and all the things that have happened between then and now have prepared us to face significant challenges. And this will be unusual. It'll be in the same state. We don't have the opportunity to play at Jeffrey Field. We'll be in a hotel, hopefully for a good 2.5 weeks, preparing to advance game by game. But I think our team are very experienced at dealing with testing, dealing with protocols, safety protocols for COVID, and then celebrating the fact that when the whistle blows, we have a chance to play against another great team in UMass, and we need to maximize that opportunity. And every team that's traveling to North Carolina will have their own set of circumstances, challenges, differences of traveling from different parts of the country. But we just need to make sure that when the whistle blows, 1 o'clock Sunday, that we're ready to go.
We'll move on to Trent.
Hey, Coach. So just for starters, congrats on the successes this season and getting into the tournament. And so Lee Butts really seems to be getting hot at just the right time this year. What does his presence alongside Peter and Danny up front mean for you guys?
I think it means a headache for me. We have 3 really talented forwards and more depth throughout the different positions in our team. So it's a great problem. It's a great opportunity for us. It's great depth. I think you'll see different combinations of those 3 guys on the field at different times. And it kind of would something I'd like to emphasize is that we have a lot of respect for UMass and what they're going to bring to the table, and we're going to have to be at our best to defeat them. So having 3 outstanding proven goal scorers, guys that have stepped up in big moments this year and scored, it just gives you a little more confidence. It does not mean that that's automatically going to produce goals. We're going to have to be really sharp. But I think that's all 3 guys that you mentioned are very mature. They're very team oriented. They're very smart, and they're really good at soccer. So they make me look good, and we have to find ways to maximize their potential this tournament, and especially starting Sunday. And we've just got to, like I say all the time, like the only chance we have to compete for a national championship, we've got to advance, and that's going to be all important come Sunday.
Otis.
Hey, Coach. What would you say in scouting UMass? What's the most dangerous thing about your opposition?
I think it's a team that believes in themselves. And when you look at the matchups in the first round, you see a lot of teams with very similar records, that are competing against each other, that maybe have only had 1 loss or, a maximum of a couple. So UMass is a team used to winning games and playing in big environments. They went down to Virginia Tech and got a really exciting 3-3 draw there. So I think that they're a group of, they're good athletes. They're really well organized. And from what I can see in film, they really believe and are committed to what they do well. They're very good defensively. They carry a threat going forward from multiple angles. So in open play, they've got good guys. They get to your box quickly and present challenges from a defensive point of view. And then in dead balls and corners, free kicks, they've been really, really dangerous in those moments consistently throughout the games that we've seen. So I think it's a big challenge. They say well coached, good group, and it's kind of a special one. I actually started my coaching career there many moons ago. That was my first ever assistant coaching job after a couple of years after graduating college. So it's got a lot of meaning. I'm from Massachusetts, but as you know, I'm a Penn Stater, so don't get me wrong, my loyalties are clear for the Nittany Lions, but it's a special game. It'll be a special game.
Daniel?
Hey, Jeff, given the fact that you played a Big Ten only schedule, through the course of the season, do you think that prepared you guys for everything that you might see if there is a tournament run? Do you feel like you saw enough styles and there was enough variety, through that Big Ten schedule?
I believe so. Each of the Big Ten teams that we faced presented different challenges. The games are highly competitive. And one of the things that was true about this season is that from game one, we were competing for placement in the league to make sure, first of all, we qualified for the NCAA tournament. And secondly, got as high a seed as we did. And then we've experienced in 3 knockout games. So I think those factors are really important. And we have discussed that a lot as a team, that the psychology involved with prepping for a winner go home kind of scenario. And we did feel that way about the quarterfinal for sure. I thought that if we had lost that, our NCAA spot could be in jeopardy. I felt, the team was desperate to win the Big Ten title and did everything they could at IU in a great performance in one of the most difficult venues in college soccer, fans or no fans, or limited fans or no fans, to play really well and perform in a big time game. And we were just gutted not to bring the trophy back to Penn State and to Happy Valley. So yes, I think we're well prepared. We're seasoned. I've reminded the guys that we've had leads early. We've come from behind. We've played in overtime, and now we've had the very painful and unique experience of getting knocked out of a competition on penalties. So I think this team, I hope all those experiences combined will harden us for the realities of the NCAA tournament.
Trent?
So obviously from here on out, it's win or go home. So what have you been saying to the team to kind of keep them from getting ahead of themselves and make sure they focus on really just taking things one game at a time?
Yeah, I think the first thing is, number one, from a coaching point of view, we've tried to keep our routines as normal as we can. We haven't changed anything about scouting. The danger, I think, is you have all this time. We've had much more time than usual. It's almost been like a second or third preseason even, is to not overwhelm the guys with film and prep that we're going to keep in our same routine. We usually do 2 scouting reports, one the day before the game, one the day of, and that's consistent. That will be consistent here. And then secondly, from a tactical approach or the game strategy, the coaches have been watching tons of UMass film. And the key is to draw out the real critical points that you want to share and address those during training. But most importantly, stay faithful to the game strategies that have produced the success we've had this season. In other words, it would be, I think, a mistake to, change drastically the lineup or change drastically our approach to each game. We'll obviously be well aware of UMass's strengths and prepare, but we want to stay committed to Penn State's game model, if you will, or game strategies is a better way to say it.
Otis?
Hey, Coach. You guys aren't officially seated in the bracket, but it doesn't take much to realize you guys are the 9 seed. What last year, or from going from NCAA purgatory to being the 15 seed then the 9 seed, what does that say about this group of guys? I'm so proud of the way they've stepped up in every challenge. And I said that to them at halftime of the Indiana game. We were losing 1-0. I said, look, guys, you've done all these things, and every time something's been thrown in front of you on the field or off the field, you've responded. And I know you'll respond in the second half, and they did. So they're making us look really good as coaches. We're putting ourselves in a strong position. And now the next challenge is, can we maximize this opportunity? Right. And that's the key thing, is we want to go and play our best game of the year against UMass, to make sure. Someone asked a question about in conference, out of conference. I'm actually, if I wasn't coaching and have a big stake in this game personally and professionally, I'm really excited to see how that's going to play out. That our level, that what we're used to, can we bring that intensity of a game at Maryland, of a Big Ten tournament game, to our performance against UMass? So I think it tells you that our guys are committed, they're focused, and I would say also that I'm really impressed by the energy and focus and training in the few sessions we've had. And, we're going to work again tonight and really make sure training is as close to the game environment as we can make it.
Ben?
Coach, UMass has shown that they can be a pretty formidable defensive team. They have 3 shutouts this year.
Mhm.
In recent games, you guys have been hot offensively. How do you plan to counter that defensive attack with your guys' offense?
Yeah, I mean, I hope we can get the ball to our key players consistently. And what I would say to that, Ben, is I don't think there's any one secret, moment or a play that you can call. And I'm not saying you're suggesting that, but I think it's about the pattern of the game and looking almost to play the percentages. Like for example, if we can put the ball in our attacking areas in our scoring positions frequently, then if you look at statistics over the year, if we create chances, we're likely to score goals over the balance of the 90 minutes, right? So I think that's what we have to try to produce offensive pressure. And that happens by getting the ball in the right area of the field, by having a territorial advantage and getting balls into position that test the UMass defenders and their goalkeeper. That's going to be really, really critical to the outcome. And that kind of goes back to my idea that we have to stay committed to what we've done all year. That's how we've played throughout the season, home or away, whatever the ranking of our opponent has been or standing in the league, we've tried to do those same things and stay committed and feel like percentage-wise that if we can commit to that over the course of the game, good things are likely to happen.
All righty. Coach, we will let you go. Thank you for your
Thanks, everybody. We're excited. Nicole, thanks for arranging and really appreciate everyone's interest. And we are going to do everything we can to give us all stuff to talk about the next few weeks here. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach.